Good morning, this is Sun Kim's weekly global briefing on 4th May, and there were so many issues for the last weekend, and I'm gonna speak about several critical issues of that. Today, I'd like to speak about the indices and the commodities first. Number one, I'd like to talk about the indices. Number one, all three indices, the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P 500, they all fell down and they closed on the Thursday. And on May Day, it just closed that. Yeah, it closed that, and so I think last week it was around the Dow Jones was 23,780 around, and then now it just fell a little bit more. So it rise again, and it fell again. So rise and fell. I told you that there form some kind of box patterns on it. Yes, and the weekdays, maybe on Wednesday it breaks the ceiling of the 24K lines of the Dow Jones, but it just falls again, and now it is showing that maybe the second quarter will not so easily go like that before. And the first quarter said it is not so bad, but the second quarter they say, oh, it's really awful. It was just a nightmare. So that everybody knows that. So it is already reflected in the market prices. And what you have to see is that the VIX index is on the May, and it rise again on 2 days. It raised 2 days again, 2 days, and the Donald Trump said that I'd like to fight with China again, and that is another issue. So the market sees that maybe the market will tumble again because of the fighting between the U.S. and China. So that it is another issue of this week. And next is the commodity, and you see the gold and silver, it makes some kind of price adjusting, and then the platinum, palladium, and copper, they fell down because and especially the palladium and platinum, they are falling more than 4% because the automotive companies and industries, maybe they have some kind of they see maybe in second quarter it'll have a bad performance. So it is already reflected. It is reflected earlier, I think. And you see the platinum is the main month is the July, and the palladium is the June. So you have to check it out. And the copper is the July again, and now the copper falls more than 1.1%, and there's really bad news because that it'll influence the IT and the Philadelphia indices, semiconductor indices too. So we have to check that the real world is not so good as like a financial world, because the Fed issues a lot of dollars and dollars and dollars. So we have to check it up, but I think we see a lot of inflation sooner or later, I'm afraid. And next is about the oil, the crude. Yes, the crude. All three crudes, they are raised up, and especially the Dubai crude, they raise more than 21%. The problem is that although they start to cut down the output of the oil, but they have no places to store it anymore. So they have to close the rig or the oil well, and the problem is that the Arabian light oil is very sticky, and if we close it too long time, then they cannot pump it again. WTI and Brent is much lighter than the crude. So even they close the well, it is hard to reopen, but they can reopen and then pump up the oil again. But the Dubai oil, it is not possible. It is not possible. So we have to check the situation about this. And then also the soybean says that the July soybean, it fell 0.73%, and it sells by $8.49 per bushel. And the problem is that I didn't show it here, but the lean hog and the rice, it rise very sharply. it rise very sharply and then make some kind of price adjusting. But it shows that maybe some problems of the agricultural part of the China and maybe meat sector of the United States, they will have a problem then. Now we will check the weekly news about that. Warren Buffett said that he opened the stakeholders meeting by the online, and he said that he has the Berkshire Hathaway made the $49.7 billion loss for the first quarter. But he said that, but don't worry, he also has a $137 billion cash pile up here. So Mr. Buffett, I think you'll be worried about that. Maybe you can die by you can press to death by your cash pile. And you said that, and you think that the market is not so good, so you're just holding and you're waiting for the lowest prices. And maybe it'll make some kind of box ranges now. So I think you'll wait for a long time, I think. Yeah. And also, I'd like to tell you that the Berkshire Hathaway Class A stock fell 19% for this quarter. Yes, and I think it'll recover maybe on the third quarter or the end of this year, I think, hopefully. And then second news is from the Bloomberg, and the Middle East stock market collapsed, and Saudi mentioned about deep spending cuts because the Saudi Arabia, you made too much oil output, and then now you have no place to put in the storage, and you know what, the crude shall be spent within a year. Without that, you shall dump it to the land. You cannot use that. Yeah, so that's the problem. And you know that the Saudi stock market falls more than 7.9% last Sunday. Yesterday. The stock market opens in the Middle East from Sunday to Thursday, and Friday and Saturday they stopped. They closed. They closed. So, and not only the Saudi Arabia, the Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and they also fall more than 3.6%. Yes. So, because of the Saudi Arabia, all the Middle East oil crude producers, the OPEC guys, they have a big trouble now. And also, another news from the Financial Times, they show that also shows that the oil majors in the UK and the United States, the America, they also have problems. They have a low crude price makes giant loss to the oil majors in first quarter, and the Royal Dutch Shell said that we'd like to cut the dividends. It is the first time since the World War II. So it is a really awful season for the oil major, and the problem is that the oil majors and the shale companies in the United States, they are fighting each other, and then the problem is IB, the Inter-Investment Bank, don't want to provide the loan to the oil majors because they say that, hey, we have a lot of cashes and they now say that I need the money, so they don't like him. Yeah, then that's a problem, man. And then it'll make the matter worse that the oil major have really hard time to get the money to make the M&A of the share companies. So it'll take a long time, maybe end of this year, I think. And I see the market forecast about this. The stock index will form a box pattern between 23K to 25K lines in Dow Jones Indices. And the remdesivir emergency use approval will be the elixir to the stock market, but I think it's not so active. It's not so active one. The Gilead stock only rise 2% after our trading. And it shows that the market thinks that I don't trust the remdesivir is effective for the COVID-19 or not. So this is another issue, and the next one is the lean hog and the rice price. The commodity, it rise sharply, and it shows loom in the Chinese agriculture production. Just a lean hog, maybe it also can influence the U.S. market too, because of the butchers and some meat processing plant, they close too long time, and then that influences the commodity market too. But the problem is that the China, they really eat so much of the pork and the rice. And nowadays, because of the COVID-19, they closed all the roads and transportation during the first quarter, and then it really prevents the some kind of transportation of the fertilizers and some kind of weed removers and so many things. So they will have some kind of influences because of the COVID-19, and agricultural production will fall down in this fall and will face a lot of problems of the China on food industry. And number 3, the energy sector, including crude and natural gas, will be a bearish market for the time being. I think it'll be some kind of a third quarter. Until the third quarter, they'll have some kind of a bearish market. Especially the natural gas, you don't have to check it. Really seriously, summer's coming. So when the natural gas is using in the winter time, and if the winter is colder, then the natural gas price goes up. But the problem is now too much gases, and now summer's coming, so the demand will fall down more, and then you will have a big problem if you invest the gas natural. So you gotta skip the natural gas for the time being until the summer. And weekly focus. Finally, I'll tell you 3 things. Dr. Fauci, can remdesivir will sue the market from the fear of COVID-19? I don't think that is working. So in my opinion, maybe everybody will go back to the plasma. Blood plasma treatment, and then and you have to check the kind of companies or any other related sectors. And number 2, will WTI break the $20 per barrel ceiling this week again? No, I don't think so. Maybe they make some kind of box patterns between $15 to $20 patterns. But the problem is that the oil majors and the share companies, they are still fighting each other in the United States. So the WTI will suffer from their fighting, their influences. Yes. So it is not good. So we gotta check it out. Whether it'll break the ceiling of the $20, but I don't think so this week too. And number 3, rise of Kim Jong-un and the South Korean economy. The Kim Jong-un shows again reappear in the media, and he shows that he's good. But somebody said, but his left leg is not so good. Maybe he has some kind of problems of the like a high blood pressure, or the kind of high fat, and he's too fat. He's fat, but he's fat, yeah. But he also have a lot of disease, maybe. I think maybe, and that really is this kind of thing happens maybe much frequently. I think because this time the COVID-19 makes some kind of happening for the North Korea, but the problem is that Kim Jong-un, he also has a lot of disease in his body, so we gotta check it out and then stay tuned about his health. And also and the North Korea shoot to the South Korean border GP lines, and then it'll make some kind of geopolitical issues of the Northeast Asia, especially in the South Korea. So the foreigners really don't want to come to the foreign market, and also the currency is also higher than they expected. So they will wait some more time, and then maybe drop their stocks, and then they will keep silent and check the time. When is the lowest lines of the Korean Kospi and Kosdaq? So why the reason I mentioned about the Korean market is that very simple. There's only one emerging market that you can earn the money in the world, in the global world. It's the South Korean market. It's the South Korean stock market. And if you cannot work there, then you have no place to earn the money. So everybody is looking for the South Korea, and then the Kim Jong-un should yesterday. So it is another issue that. So we have to check for this week. Stay tuned, and whether they were suiting these situations or not. And this is the end of the weekly briefing. And stay tuned and keep your principle. And I hope you're successful investment, and God bless you. Thank you.